There's nothing to help. Watch me one by one. Oh my God.
Lucius, ho! I cannot, by the progress of the stars, give guess how near today. Lucius, I say! I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say! What, Lucius?
Called you, my lord?
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it's lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death, and for my part. I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, that craves very walking. Crown him that, and then, I grant, we put a sting in him, that at his will, he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it just joins remorse from power, and to speak the truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto at the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning at the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then, lest he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run these to extremities, and therefore think of him as a serpent's egg, which hatch would his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
These exhaltions whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake. Such instigations have been often dropped, where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus I must piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? My ancestors did for the streets of Rome, the Tarquin drive, when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March has wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wit me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all interim is like the genius in the mortal instruments, or then in council in the state of men. Like to a little kingdom suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks. That by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let him enter. There the fashion. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night, when evils are most free? O then, by day, wilt thou cave in dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none, conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou path thy native semblance on, not a Rebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention. I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you? I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you? Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you, and every one doth wish had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius. He is welcome hither. This Decius Brutus. He is welcome too. This Casca, this Cinna, and this Metellus. They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night? Shall I entreat a word? Here lies the east. Doth the day not break here? No. Pardon, sir, it doth. The yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of the day. You shall confess that you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing of the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence up higher towards the north. Here first presents the fire in high east, stands at capital directly here. Give me your hands over, one by one. And let us swear our resolution. No, not an oath. If not the face of men, that sufferance of our souls, the times abuse. If these motives be weak, break off bare times, and every man hence to ride to his idle bed. So let high-sighted tyrant rage on, till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I'm sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then countrymen, what need we spur but our own cause, to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word, and will not platter? And what other oath than honesty, to honestly engage this, that this shall or we will fall for it? Swear priests and cowards and man Catullus, and man, O feeble carrion, such suffering souls, that welcome wrongs unto bed causes swear such creatures and men doubt, but do not strain that even the virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits. Do you think that, or a cause of performance, did need an oath when every drop of blood that every Roman bears and nobly bears is guilty of a several bastardy? If he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him. But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us. Let us not leave him out. No, by no means. Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and by men's voices to commend our deeds, and shall be said his judgment ruled by our hands, our use and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin. Then leave him out. Indeed, he is not fit. Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar? Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet Marc Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together. Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar. In the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let us carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes. We shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Marc Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off. Yet I fear him, for in the ingrated love he bears to Caesar. Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar, and that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company. There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. Peace, count the clock. The clock hath stricken 3. 'Tis time to part. But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late, quite from the maid's opinions he held once, of fantasy, dreams, and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unconsumed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today. Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can oversway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give him his humor the true bend, and I will bring him to the capital. Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him. By the 8th hour. Is that the uttermost? Be that the uttermost, and fail not then. Caius Ligarius doth not bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him. Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him. The morning comes upon's. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans. Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, every one.